Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, I used to feel stronger than this? Maybe getting out of bed takes more effort now. Maybe you feel your knees trembling as you climb the stairs, or you find yourself reaching for furniture just to keep your balance. If you're in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, you're not alone. I see this every day in my clinic. Aging can feel like your strength is quietly slipping away, and that can be frightening. But here's something I want you to remember. Decline is not inevitable. You still have the power to change how your body moves and feels. And it might only take one simple move. My name is Dr. Linda Rose. As a brain and body health specialist focused on senior care, I've seen what muscle loss, poor balance, and instability can do. It's not just about looking fit, it's about avoiding falls, protecting your independence, and feeling confident in your own skin again. That's exactly why I decided to personally take on a challenge many people over 60 avoid. I did deep squats every day for 30 days. And what happened? It completely shifted my perspective, not only on fitness, but on aging itself. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Deep squats. That sounds dangerous at my age. Or maybe, won't that hurt my knees or back? And I understand your hesitation. But here's the truth. When done properly, deep squats are one of the most powerful natural movements you can do for your body. They engage the largest muscles in your lower body, improve circulation, strengthen your joints, and even support brain function by increasing blood flow. In this video, I'll walk you through exactly what I experienced during this 30-day journey. The good, the surprising, and yes, even the parts one didn't expect. You'll learn what worked, what to watch out for, and whether this is something you should try. Especially if you want to stay mobile, independent, and full of vitality as you age. Before we get started, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell, so you never miss a simple, science-backed health tip, designed especially for older adults like you. If you find this video helpful, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. Your feedback is invaluable and helps me improve these videos for your benefit. Now, let's begin. Result 1. My legs got stronger, but not in the way I expected. When I first began this 30-day deep squat challenge, I'll be honest, I expected sore thighs, aching calves, and maybe even a few pulled muscles. What I didn't expect was how quickly my legs began to feel not just stronger, but more stable. Within the first week, something shifted. It wasn't just about muscle tone, it was about control. I remember getting up from my office chair on day 6 and thinking, wait a minute, that felt different. It was smoother. No wobble. No tension in my knees. It was as if my legs remembered how to carry me without strain. And that, for someone in their 70s like many of my patients, is priceless. You see, deep squats aren't just about building bulk. They activate the quadriceps, hamstrings, glutes, and even your hip flexors, all the muscles responsible for keeping you upright, balanced, and mobile. But they also train coordination between those muscles. And that coordination is the secret weapon to stability as we age. By day 10, I noticed my stride changing. Walking felt easier. My knees didn't buckle when stepping off a curb. And more importantly, I felt more confident in my movements. That's something no supplement or pill can give you. It comes from movement, purposeful, controlled movement that tells your body, you're still strong. You still have control. What surprised me most was how my knee joints responded. Like many seniors, I had concerns about stress on the knees. But doing slow, controlled squats, with proper form and without weights, actually helped reduce the pressure. My knees felt supported rather than stressed. That's because squats encourage synovial fluid circulation, a natural lubrication process in your joints. Think of it like oiling a rusty hinge. The more you move it mindfully, the better it functions. And here's something even more interesting. Several of my patients who joined me in this 30-day challenge began reporting similar results. One woman in her late 70s told me she was finally able to get in and out of her car without bracing herself. Another man in his 80s said he was climbing stairs again, Slowly, yes, but with confidence. These weren't bodybuilders. These were older adults who simply committed to a few minutes of squatting each day. But let me be very clear. This only worked because the squats were done correctly. That means slow, controlled movement. Keeping your knees behind your toes. Not going too low too fast. Holding on to a chair or railing in the beginning if needed. This isn't about ego. It's about empowerment. So, what did I learn from this part of the journey? That deep squats are not just an exercise. They're a way to retrain your legs to support you again. Not just in the gym, but in your real life. In the moments when you stand up from a couch, step into the bathtub, or catch your balance on uneven ground. That's real strength. And it's something you can absolutely regain, even in your 70s or 80s. Result 2. My balance improved, and I finally felt safe again. One of the biggest fears I hear from my patients, especially those in their 70s and beyond, is the fear of falling. And it's not an overreaction. A single fall can change everything. It can mean broken hips, emergency rooms, or the loss of your independence. I've seen it happen more times than I care to count. That's why I paid very close attention to my balance during this 30-day squat experiment. And the results honestly surprised me. By around day 12, something subtle but powerful began to happen. I noticed I wasn't reaching for walls or countertops as often. When I bent down to pick up something, I didn't feel like I was tipping forward. My feet started to feel more anchored, more connected to the ground. That's when I realized my sense of balance had sharpened. You see, deep squats don't just work your muscles, they wake up your proprioception. That's the fancy term for your body's ability to sense where it is in space. Think of it like your internal GPS. It's what helps you stand tall without falling, or step onto a curb without tripping. And sadly, as we age, proprioception naturally dulls. But here's the beautiful part. It can be retrained. With each squat I did, I wasn't just building muscle. I was teaching my body how to move safely again. I was asking my ankles, knees, hips, and even my inner ear to work together like a team. And after 2 weeks of consistent practice, I found myself walking across my hardwood floor barefoot without hesitation. No shuffle. No hesitation. Just a steady, grounded stride. This had an emotional impact too. Because when you're worried about falling, it's always there, like a shadow in the back of your mind. You hesitate to go outside alone. You stop using the stairs. You avoid social activities. Fear slowly shrinks your world. But with every day of squats, I felt that fear begin to loosen its grip. And instead of dreading movement, I started trusting it. One story that stands out comes from a gentleman in his early 80s who joined my challenge. He had stopped walking his dog after nearly tripping on the sidewalk. But after 3 weeks of daily squats, just 5 to 7 minutes a day, he told me with a smile, "I took Max out for a walk yesterday. No cane, just me and him." That's not just exercise. That's freedom returning. Now, I know not everyone can go deep into a squat right away. That's perfectly fine. I always recommend starting with a shallow squat, using a chair behind you for safety. The key is consistency. Whether you do 10 small squats or 3 deep ones, you are building a foundation of safety under your feet. So yes, my muscles got stronger. But it was this boost in balance that truly changed how I moved through the day. I felt safe in my body again. And if you've ever doubted your footing, if you've ever hesitated to take that extra step, let me tell you, balance can be rebuilt. And it starts with one deep squat at a time. Result 3. My back pain decreased, and I finally felt aligned. I didn't go into this 30-day squat journey expecting any changes in my back. In fact, like many people in their later years, I had quietly accepted some level of back stiffness as just part of life. Those dull aches in the lower spine after sitting too long, that tightness when standing up after gardening or reading, it was manageable, but always there. But something unexpected happened around the 3rd week of my squat routine. The pain began to fade. Slowly, subtly, but unmistakably. By day 20, I realized I hadn't reached for my heating pad in almost a week. I was getting out of bed with less stiffness. Bending over to tie my shoes wasn't a slow negotiation anymore. I didn't feel like I had to brace myself with a hand on the knee or the edge of the bed. And that's when it hit me. Squats weren't just strengthening my legs. They were realigning my body. You see, a properly executed deep squat isn't just a leg workout. It's a full body coordination exercise. Your core, your spine, your hips, your ankles, they all work together in harmony. When done with intention and control, a squat encourages your pelvis to tilt naturally, your spine to lengthen, and your core muscles to engage like a corset. And for someone struggling with poor posture or chronic lower back tension, that's a recipe for relief. What often causes back pain in seniors isn't just wear and tear. It's weak glutes, stiff hips, and underused abdominal muscles. When those areas go dormant, the back has to do more than its fair share of work, and that's when pain creeps in. But deep squats reverse that. They awaken the muscles that are supposed to support the spine, giving your back a break. I vividly remember standing at my kitchen counter, preparing a meal on day 23, and realizing I had been on my feet for over an hour, without any tightness in my lower back. That may not sound revolutionary, but for anyone who's dealt with chronic back fatigue, you know exactly how liberating that moment feels. It's like your body finally breathes a sigh of relief. One of my patients, a woman in her mid-70s who had battled back pain for over a decade, experienced something similar. She began doing modified wall squats with me during the challenge. No deep bends, just slow and controlled against a flat surface. And within 2 weeks, she said she was sleeping better because she no longer needed to adjust a pillow stack to ease the tension in her lower spine. That's the hidden power of alignment. Now let me be clear, if you suffer from severe spinal conditions, you must always check with your healthcare provider before starting a squat routine. But for many adults dealing with mild to moderate discomfort, improving posture and activating the right muscle groups can reduce strain on the back dramatically. This wasn't a magic cure, but it was a shift. A gentle, powerful, and natural way to give my spine the support it needed. And all it took was a few minutes a day of intentional movement. If your back has been crying out for relief, you might be surprised by how much deep squats can offer. Not just strength, but realignment, balance, and peace within your body. Result 4. My energy increased, without needing more sleep or coffee. I want to be honest with you. Like many adults in their 60s and 70s, I've experienced those foggy, sluggish mornings where even after a full night's sleep, I still feel like I need a nap by noon. And yes, I'm a doctor, but I'm also human. I've reached for that second cup of coffee, hoping it'll give me the boost I need to power through the day. But what I didn't expect during this 30-day squat challenge was how much energy my body started producing, naturally, from within. It began around day 15. I wasn't sleeping longer. I wasn't changing my diet. But I noticed something subtle. I no longer felt the mid-morning crash. My steps had more bounce. I wasn't dragging my feet through the afternoon. I wasn't just awake. I was alert, motivated, and even excited to move. That's when I realized deep squats were waking up something deep inside my system. My body's own engine. You see, deep squats engage the largest and strongest muscles in your body. The quadriceps, glutes, hamstrings, these are your energy centers. When you activate these muscles consistently, your body responds by increasing circulation, boosting oxygen flow, and improving metabolic function. Think of it like jump-starting a car that hasn't been driven in a while. The more you move, the more efficiently your body begins to use its own energy resources. And unlike stimulants like caffeine or sugar, which spike your energy and then crash it, movement-based energy is steady and sustainable. It comes from your body's natural systems working better together. Your cardiovascular system pumps more effectively. Your mitochondria, the tiny energy generators inside your cells, start multiplying and functioning more efficiently. Your blood sugar stabilizes. All from a movement as simple and natural as a squat. What also caught me by surprise was the emotional lift. With more physical energy came more emotional vitality. I wasn't just moving better. I was thinking more clearly, laughing more easily, and looking forward to the day. That's a huge gift, especially for older adults who may be dealing with fatigue, isolation, or low mood. One patient of mine, a 78-year-old man, told me he started gardening again after years of neglect. Not because someone told him to, but because he wanted to. He had the energy, and with that came motivation. And all he had changed was committing to 10 deep squats every morning. Of course, this kind of transformation doesn't happen overnight. Those first few days can feel tough. You may feel sore, unsure, or even silly at first. But if you stick with it, even just 2 minutes a day, you might notice your body waking up in ways it hasn't in years. And it's not because you're suddenly younger. It's because you're treating your body the way it's designed to be treated. With movement, with activation, and with care. So if you've been feeling drained, tired, or uninspired, don't underestimate what a simple routine like deep squats can do for your energy. You don't need to sleep more or drink more coffee. You need to remind your muscles that they still matter, that they still have a job to do. And trust me, when you do that, they answer back with strength, vitality, and energy that feels truly alive. Result 5. My confidence returned, and it changed more than just my body. Now, this might be the most personal and powerful result of all. Yes, my legs got stronger. Yes, my balance improved. My back felt better, and my energy soared. But there was something else that took me completely by surprise during this journey. I started to feel confident again. Not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and even socially. Let me explain. As we age, we often begin to shrink our world. We second-guess our movements. We stop doing the things we once loved. We avoid stairs, decline invitations, and hesitate to take walks in new places. It's not that we don't want to live fully, it's that we're afraid. Afraid of falling, of embarrassment, of pain, of failure. And that fear chips away at our confidence, little by little. But something fascinating happened about 3 weeks into my deep squat routine. I walked into the grocery store without thinking twice about the slippery floors. I found myself taking the longer route in the park, the one with the small hill I usually avoided. I even accepted an invitation to dance, something I hadn't done in years. All because I felt capable. Not invincible, not reckless. Just quietly confident in my own body again. It wasn't about how I looked. It was about how I moved. When you can get up from a low chair without struggling, when you can lower yourself into a squat without fear, when your legs feel grounded and strong, you start to carry yourself differently. Your shoulders open up. Your chin lifts. Your eyes meet others without hesitation. That is the posture of someone who feels safe in their own body. And let me tell you, confidence is contagious. I had one woman in her late 60s tell me, "Dr. Rose, since starting the squats, I feel like I can say yes to life again." That gave me goosebumps. Because that's what this journey is really about. Not just strengthening your muscles, but reclaiming your sense of self. For older adults, confidence is often the first thing to go when health starts to change. But it can also be the first thing to come back when we re-engage with our bodies. Deep squats, though simple and accessible, have a way of reawakening that relationship. You begin to realize, I'm still here. I still have strength. I still have choice. And here's the best part. Once confidence returns in your physical movement, it spills into every area of life. You may feel more open to social connections. You may feel bolder when speaking up. You might even rediscover passions or hobbies that were quietly set aside over the years. So yes, deep squats transformed my body, but what they gave me most was a renewed sense of self. And I believe with all my heart that you can experience the same. It starts with a decision. A quiet, courageous decision to take up space, to move your body, and to trust yourself again. So, what did I truly learn from doing deep squats every day for 30 days? It wasn't just about stronger legs or improved posture. It was about reconnecting with a part of myself that had been quietly fading into the background. Through this simple, consistent act, just a few squats each day, I rediscovered strength, balance, energy, and most of all, confidence. Not the kind that comes from looking in the mirror, but the kind that lives deep inside you, the kind that helps you face the world with calm, steady courage. I've always told my patients, motion is lotion. But I've come to see that movement is more than just physical maintenance. It's a message to your mind, your spirit, and your soul. A message that says, I still matter. I'm still capable. I'm still growing. And the truth is, it doesn't take an hour at the gym or fancy equipment. It doesn't require perfection. All it takes is a little consistency and the willingness to begin. If you're watching this and thinking, but I'm too old, or I can't do squats like that, I want you to stop and take a deep breath. You are not too old. You are not broken. You are simply in a season where your body is asking for attention, not punishment. Start with support. Use a chair. Hold a wall. Do shallow squats. Even visualizing the motion can start to wake up those neural pathways. This is about reclaiming the relationship with your body, loving it, honoring it, and moving it with care. Whether you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s, or beyond, your muscles still respond to movement. Your bones still respond to pressure. Your brain still responds to challenge. You are never too old to begin again. If this video gave you even one helpful insight, I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel and tap the notification bell. That way, you'll always be the first to receive these simple, science-backed tips made especially for older adults like you. And if you're curious about other natural ways to restore strength and stability, check out the next video I've linked right here on the screen. You're stronger than you think. And it's never too late to feel like you again.